Greetings, fellow conquerors. This is darkfireslide, and welcome to Byzantium here in EU4. And it's time, finally, at last, for the 1 hour special. That's right, 1 hour of Eastern Rome. And what a fine episode to do it in, because we've perched ourselves on the brink of war with our most hated enemy, the Spanish, who have laid claim to what is properly Roman territory, right in the Roman heartland in Italia. Well, we will suffer not these pretenders. Indeed, we shall send the army from the east. We shall prepare for war. Now, in the meantime, interestingly, the Persians, or the Mamluks have attacked the Persians. However, despite being 3 military attacks ahead, the Mamluks are getting slaughtered. Well, their loss is our gain, because after our war with the Spanish, we'll be able to swoop in and basically do what we will, or do as we wish with them. We are taking, unfortunately, some attrition as we're passing through the mountains here, but we are going to go ahead and raise army maintenance once again. Currently, our army is at 100,000 troops out of 108,000 possible force limit. And as we can see, France and Hungary would be willing to join us in the war. However, Austria would not, because I guess he likes Spain. Whatever. Alright. Let's take a look at the armies, just to get a good idea of the matchup here between the major powers. We as Byzantium obviously have 10,000 troops currently, with a 60,000 manpower and 108 force limit. A very strong economy backing us up, though we do have one loan at the moment. Alright, we then have France, who has an army of 64,000 himself, with a force limit of 93,000. The Spanish themselves have 56,000 with a force limit of 82,000, currently 36,000 manpower. The French and I clearly have more manpower at the moment, so now is as good a time as any to strike. The Hungarians surprisingly have 53,000 troops, more than their Austrian allies, though their manpower is rather low and they do have 10 mercenaries. Now, let's search by country name now, since, you know, the allies of the Spanish are going to be much smaller than our own armies. It's like Portugal's got an army of 30,000, bigger than we would have expected, but still not really terrifying. And then another 36,000 from Savoy, those are going to be the major two allies of our enemy. And then Serbia, our faithful vassal, is very likely going to deal with Bosnia. And we may even end up annexing Bosnia as part of this war. We're not 100% yet, just because we could, separate peace them and get things for free. And since they're allied with Austria, this would be a really easy way to feed Serbia and make them happy by giving them lots of land. Now, currently we do have a free diplomat. We're going to improve relations with Shirvan, who is rather upset with us since we, took them over. Their symbol looks very similar to Carthage. I'm sure I've already mentioned this at some point in the series, but let me just crack my voice some, since, that's all I'm good at. Sound like the character from The Simpsons, I gotta throw in a pop culture reference, because, otherwise people aren't gonna watch my videos, and, well, that's just sad, isn't it? We do have some Circassian separatists to worry about in the province of Circassia itself, but that'll have to wait, because we have more important things to do, like attacking the Spanish. Do we want to build more troops? Well, let's get the men together here. One thing we could consider doing in the meantime is building a couple churches. I'm really bad about remembering to build these as well, but it compounds. We build 10 of these at 0.13 ducats a month. And, they pay for themselves very quickly when you stack them like that. It does kind of mitigate our war chest a little bit, but we could certainly use a little bit more money now that we have a very large contingent of artillery in our ranks, as it were. So let's see. This army currently has 18 artillery. This army currently has 21 artillery. This army here could use a little bit more infantry, so we're going to go ahead and raise 3 more regiments for that precise purpose. And one thing I've been forgetting to do here is alright, so this name is very long. So somebody has mentioned that since this is like the Roman Empire, that's what we're doing. What we're going to do for these armies is we're going to rename them to legions. So this is going to be the first legion, and we're just going to name it Grecia after Greece itself. And then oh, it didn't save it. Hold on. So thank you. One. Grecia. And then this will be the second legion. And what shall we call this one? Well, we could name them Anatolia, after the fact that this is kind of our homeland as Byzantium, as it were, even though it is inhabited mostly by Turks now. I think we'll do that. I can't help but wonder if it would be like Anatolion instead, like this, or if it would just be Anatolia. We'll just go with Anatolia for now, but correct me in the comments otherwise. All right, so we got the first legion, Grecia, and the second legion, Anatolia. All right, let's get the men ready. Looks like our French allies are getting into position. They do have some snazzy new outfits. I think those are part of the Rights of Man, or at least the Denmark patch. And we're gonna move the men into the hills here and just get ready to strike, basically. Now we are concerned because the Spanish do have full defensive ideas, which is going to make attacking them a bit of a pain, admittedly. As well, I don't think our fleet is capable of defeating the Spanish and Portuguese fleets combined, which is obviously a problem. That being said, let's get the men into position. I think we have the land advantage, without a doubt. Alright, we have many claims, as you can see. And potential allies, all of them are going to join. He's going to have Savoy, Portugal, Ulm, oh god, not Ulm, and Bosnia. More like Badassnia, am I right? Okay, so our king is he's a Hunyadi. He's Jonas Hunyadi. Not of his family's certainly not of Greek origin, or Latin or Roman for that matter. The Spanish still have the Trastamara, I believe is how you pronounce that. And interestingly, the French are currently led by Theodora Hunyadi, although their son is a de Valois, I guess. But Jonas Hunyadi, he, the emperor of Byzantium, he stands before the troops in Italy. The men, various ethnicities, drawn from across the empire, stand in perfect formation before the Basilius. Here they are gathered, 100,000 men, 100,000 Romans, ready to fight against the Spanish. And he's standing before just a small part of the host. The Hungarian emperor readies his speech. Men of the empire, hear me. I am your emperor, and you will hear my words. Unlike many of you men, I do not have the privilege of being born Greek, or even Roman. My father was a Hungarian, and my mother was an Austrian. But I know better, for the men of the empire are made of sterner stuff than most. Many fine Greeks, Bulgars, Serbians, Albanians, and Turkish men now comprise our army of over 100,000 strong. Many of you are far from home. But fear not, for over the hills to the south a new home awaits you. Take heart, men, for you are about to embark upon a sojourn worthy of the name Rome. Take up your arms, and let us do battle with these Castilian pretenders. Let us carve a new Rome. Without further ado, let us begin the conquest of Abruzos. Alright, let's get the men in here. See what we can do. I imagine a small section of the Spanish army is down here. As we can see, because of our artillery advantage, we are currently at a negative 14% in the actual siege. And due to having our own defensive ideas, we also have a fairly significant reduction in attrition as well. Now we can catch small parts of the fleet isolated out here. We'll see what we can do, see if we can't do battle here with some of them. We are concerned with things like whether or not the enemy fleet is newer or not. It looks like the Spanish are fairly confident attacking us into the mountains here. We'll see if they follow through on this. Yeah, no, they must not have known our army was there. Oh, looks like we forgot our 3 infantry regiments, as it were. Mistakes were made. Got so caught up in the... You know, you get so caught up in the speeches, you lose track of what's going on. Now, is this man the best man for the job? Because I think our heir, Isakios, 4-5 is certainly where that he's a 4-5-4 with 1 siege. He's certainly quite the general. Now, I am interested to do battle with the Spanish here. However, I would very much be interested in seeing first, you know, whether or not we can defeat them. Well, first of all, I want to win this siege here in you know, Naples. Looks like the Hungarian army is being beaten by the Savoyards. Rather unfortunate, but the Bosnians are being defeated by our vassal, which is good. How are the Spanish faring? Well, given that their army is split in 2, with half of it being here in Italy, can't imagine they're doing too well. All right, our heir is going to lead the charge against the Spanish First Army, led by Francisco de Trastamara. Is that their king? Oh, the Spanish king is leading their army. Perfect. Our prince will defeat his king in battle. Let us go. We will arrive on the 9th of January. Alright, the Circassian separatists have risen up. This is unfortunate. Alright, we're slow down time here. Alright, here we go. Alright, our admiral has fallen. Looks like the numbers are fairly even in the fire phase. And that's partly because we rolled a 0. Alright, looks like we're killing about 50% more of them in the shock phase here because we rolled a 9 to their 7. Which is absolutely brutal. And then we're going to reinforce here with the rest of our army. So yeah, it does look like we are inflicting significantly more casualties by comparison to the Spanish. In part because we outnumber them, of course, but in part due to the superior leadership of the Crown Prince, Isakios. And then the last man will join in at the last second and deal some absolutely devastating casualties to the Spanish ranks. Let's take a look at that in retrospect. So, we lost about, I don't know, like 8,800 overall. About 9,000, something like that. The Spanish lost more than that in infantry alone, and then significantly more otherwise. And then we're just going to follow them down. I can't imagine they're retreating too far, but I guess we'll see. It was a good first battle. It really was. That was a really important victory, I think. Especially if we can get these men somewhere where they can't run. Unfortunately, the separatists are running rampant in the meantime. Alright, let's get the army split up here and start some good carpet sieging. That was an excellent battle by our heir Isakios. He's an incredible general. In no small part due, I'm sure, to our military traditions here in Byzantium. Alright, looks like the Spanish fleet has nowhere left to run. The Hungarians have decided to engage them. And the Spanish fleet is fleeing, as we might have expected. Looks like Spain's colonies are sending in some troops, but we have managed to capture or catch the Spanish fleet here. We'll get those fleet stats in a few moments. All right, we managed to completely sink the remainder of the Spanish fleet there, and we've even captured a transport ship. All right, we're gonna go ahead and have these ships dock up for a moment. War going incredibly smoothly so far. Rather than defending the strait, it looks like the, So we can lose 10 Patriarch Authority, or we could, yeah, we'll just gain the Patriarch Authority since our, prestige is already so high. Alright, looks like the, colonies are trying to block the strait here. And, we're just gonna go ahead and force them out of there. And, looks like they are gonna make us take the crossing. Really wanted to avoid that if possible, so these men are going to take a lot of casualties until the rest of our army can arrive on the 14th. But I don't think it's going to be enough for the Spanish. We are still taking just a significant number of casualties here, unfortunately. Alright. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we can actually stack wipe them, which really sucks, actually. I really don't want to sit here and blockade while this battle is going on. We will go ahead and pick up the next offensive idea of Glorious Arms to get more prestige from land battles. It's a decent idea. Not incredible, but, you know, decent enough. We're going to save our admin points because admin tech is more expensive right now, and apart from that, you know, we want to save decor when we, you know, win this war, because it's looking like it's going to be a victory. We're already at 17% war score, and the French are currently leading successful sieges in Spanish lands, as it were. Alright, we are taking some attrition here, so let's go ahead and split the army up. We'll keep an eye on them. Yeah, the Spanish are already at medium enthusiasm. This is good. Now, thankfully, we are going to get quite a bit of good land out of this. Now, the land in southern Italy, admittedly, not as good as some of the you know, the great land in northern Italy, but you know, it'll be great to reclaim some land that, you know, rightfully belongs to us, essentially, since we are Romans. Currently winning the siege here in Messina. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. Payment demands. Mercenary maintenance is up. I don't think we have that many mercenaries, so I'm not particularly worried. But it looks like somebody has gone and dealt with our rebels. Very nice. Probably the Hungarians. It looks like the Persians still winning the war. Hopefully they peace out in time to actually get some land from the Mamluks before the Mamluks actually, you know, strike back and do something about it. At the very least, it's going to open them up for us to attack it, you know, in the near future, and help us to reclaim some of the lost land in that direction as well. And we'll be able to, you know, recreate our true Mediterranean empire. Russia has been caught building a spy network. I mean, okay. Alright, Bosnia is fully occupied. So, we're going to give the capital to Serbia, since they did all the hard work of besieging them. Let's see, what's Serbia's... Alright, it's a percentage base now, rather than just a flat, like, you know... So many changes in the Denmark patch that I just haven't even gotten a chance to see yet. Thanks, school. Thanks, education. Appreciate it. Alright. We'll have them end their... Oh, you can have people end their rivalries. That's cool. Alright, so we're going to have them end their alliances with Austria and Spain. We don't want them allying anyone big, and then... we'll just do war reps and old treaties, and we'll take Bosnia from them, give that to Serbia. Great. Looks like we've lost 120,000 men so far in this war. And that gives Serbia one more province. Good work. Alright. Spanish Brazil's occupied the Rio Grande. Oh, Rio Grande. Okay. Good for them. I'm happy for them. Really, I am. Trust me. Alright, let's go ahead and kick the speed up. Looks like the French have 50,000 noble rebels. Well, that's unfortunate. They are beginning to win some sieges in Spain, though. Alright, looks like the Spanish are moving into attack. Crazily enough. Even though, I guess we are taking the -2 because of the fort. We'll win that battle pretty handily. And then we'll send the other men back across the strait. Especially now that we're at a 57% chance to win the siege. 71% now. We'll smash this army as soon as we get the opportunity. Come on. Ooh. We did it. Alright. And then this should be a pretty easy stack wipe. Pretty conclusive end of the war, even though we are attacking into the mountains. Alright, looks like the Spanish are still alive, amazingly. We'll have the fresh army attack. And we've stack wiped the remaining troops. So the Spanish army more or less completely destroyed and driven out of Italy. Spain, who is now on low enthusiasm, as you might imagine. We do have some Urbanese separatists, and our manpower is starting to look pretty bad, you know. But we are kind of blobbing our troops so as to be able to defeat the Spanish. I know this is bad play, but hey, you know. This is important. It's more important that we win the battles than it is, you know, we stop attrition from happening, basically. Alright, are any of, problem is, I think most of Spain's allies are still pretty enthusiastic about the war. So to get them out of it, we'd really need to, consider sieging them down and getting them out of the war that way. For the time being, let's get our troops into places where there's actually a supply limit for the amount of troops that we have. See, we're about 7,000 manpower in the whole. We probably just took a crap ton of attrition there, moving these troops around, but you know what happens. Serbia sieging down Savoy, of course. And the Savoyards about to win a siege in Hungary. I don't think we can stand for that. So let's go ahead and move the troops into position. Try to relieve the siege. I don't think that we're going to be able to make it in time, but at the very least we can defeat these Savoyards. Ooh, get out of there. Okay. See, Dalmatia is a grasslands province. So yeah, let's go ahead and engage. I don't think this army's been defeated yet. So we can, and then join halfway through, get our crazy good general in there, and inflict some heavy casualties. We took a lot ourselves. The Savoyard army is pretty good. They've got looks like they've got defensive ideas. Do they have anything else? I wonder. They cause missionary strength, fort defense. Doesn't look like it. I guess they're just rolling well. Go figure. Alright, that ought to really hurt the Savoyard enthusiasm, especially if they lose a siege next. Alright, we are going to need to move into probably attempt to... How about the Serbians? Looks like some Syrian separatists are about to rise up in Antioch, as it were. And as a result of that, I'm just going to go ahead and raise autonomy, even though this is a decent province, just because I don't want to deal with the rebels. Maybe a bad, you know, long-term decision, but all the same. Let's see. The Savoy will still not accept a white peace despite losing a siege. Ulm is at maximum. We're just going to make him give us all his money, basically. Get 600 some ducats. And, otherwise, just funness. You know, not as difficult of a war as I thought it would be, but the fact that the Spanish armies were separated really, really hurt them. Let's see. Noble family requests aid. 500 ducats or 50 admin. Let's go with the ducats, because admin power is harder to get, even though we're making 11 per month right now. And our cap is 1185, so... Thank goodness for that increased tech cost, I guess. Because we're going to need it. We probably could advance next. Although, advancing does increase administrative efficiency. So you know what? We're going to do that because it'll actually save us a bunch of points when we core all these provinces. Because now we're at effectively, minus 45% coring costs. So, it's pretty good. Alright, the French are going to smash the, completely wipe the Savoyard army, who are probably more than happy to peace out now. Yeah, I had a feeling. And oh my goodness, the Savoyards have a lot of money. It's like Swiss banking on steroids. 1,131 ducats. I'll take it. How else are we going to pay for the next institution, am I right? Okay, that leaves us with the Spanish and the Portuguese. The Portuguese, who are probably very unlikely to peace out. And now we're at just a 45% war score, as it were. Alright, how much more can we gain? We can gain 10 more war score from the war goal. And even more from sieges, especially if we let our allies take care of it. We are going to repay our loan, just because loans are terrible for the economy. Alright, we've converted more heretics. Good stuff. Currently at positive 8% missionary strength. Oh, goodness. See, when people tell me, like, Dark, you really need to take religious ideas, I'm like, I'm already at 8%. Like, I don't know if it's really necessary at this point. If we spent 12 ducats a month, we could get a level 3 discipline advisor, which would give us tons of military points, which I'm all about. And it would give us a chance to get the nice bonus from having a level 3 discipline advisor. So let's go ahead and do it. Even though that is going to cost us a lot of money, I think it's well worth the monarch point investment to help fill out offensive ideas, as it were. So what was left in the war? Looks like it's just Spain and Portugal and all their colonies. The real question then becomes, well, specifically once we win this siege here in Valencia, how much can we do? How much can we take in this war? Looks like we are slowly recovering. It is going to be another 10 months before we are out of negative manpower, unfortunately. That's the way she goes. Let's see, Austria. Oh, we've lost our royal marriage with Austria. I suppose we should renew that, given that our relations are not particularly high at the moment. As a matter of fact, I am going to improve relations with the Austrians once the month ticks over. Well, once we get... There we go. Start improving relations with them again. Relations with Hungary are good. Relations with France are good. We need to improve relations with Austria. Make things better. It's interesting. The Austrians might join us in a war against the Mamluks, which would be extremely helpful, I think. Looks like we have some Spanish particularists here in Spain trying to siege back some of these provinces. So let's go ahead and take a look at the potential war peace deal here. Alright, so if we took the whole of Italy, we would incur a coalition of the Mamluks, Dulkadir, the Papal State, Georgia, Savoy, Spain, Venice, and Genoa. Which sounds frightening. But in reality, it's not really. At the same time, we could take up to 47 aggressive expansion. This would still be a quite acceptable peace deal. How much power projection would we get? We would get 18 power projection from doing this, which is quite good. And, honestly, Spain wouldn't even join a coalition against us at this point, which is quite hilarious in my opinion. Now, one thing I was thinking about, and I forgot to mention this when I declared the war, I thought about attacking the Papal State while this war was going on, since the French wouldn't join, since we're fighting a war. But the problem is we couldn't get any of our allies joined. And so we'd be fighting alone against the Papal State, Holland, Bohemia, and Alsace. We are strong, but we are not quite strong enough for that yet. Almost, but not yet. But anyway, we've got a pretty insane peace deal right here against the Spanish. And it looks like they would be willing to accept quite a big, incurred debt as well. They're quite low on money. But it might be better if we made them break their alliance with Portugal, since Portugal is an ally of theirs that we can't really touch in any way. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do that, and then we're going to I think that's the end of this war. So we were successful against the Spanish in our first conquest war. It cost us a lot of manpower, but I think this was a really important war for establishing ourselves in Italy once again. Let's go ahead and pass the peace deal. Alright, the Byzantine conquest of Abruzos. 242,000 deaths on our side and 218,000 on the sides of the Spanish. Most of our troops, of course, lost in attrition rather than glorious battle. Spain accepted our generous peace offer, and we've lost the humiliate rival, as you might expect. The Spanish particulars now going to the rest of Spanish Italy, being a problem that they're just going to have to deal with. Alright, so now we're going to be focusing on getting some of these provinces cored. The Mamluks, of course, having been just humiliated by the Persians, who have grown somewhat in size and who are doubtless hostile against us. Given that, weirdly enough, they're allied with Georgia now. Well, I guess it's not that weird, given that Georgia is actually a Shia state now. But I digress. Okay. So, we do have papal separatists to worry about. We've got a lot of separatists to worry about. And we would love to embrace the next institution, but, you know, it's going to cost... You know, one thing I've been thinking about with institutions is how strange it is, I think, that, like, it's... When you think about it, tech is basically tied to money now. Because, you know, you need money to get the institutions. And so, at that point, it's like, why even have monarch points to get points? You know, maybe I'm just getting, you know, nitpicky here, but I don't know, something to think about. Right now, it would still cost us about 2240 ducats in order to actually embrace the institution. The institution itself spreading rather slowly through the rest of our provinces, but I mean, hey, we'll embrace it soon enough. Alright, these provinces actually have decent supply limit now that we own them. Let's go ahead and get the troops over there. It's very nice having these two level 3 advisors. I really hope we get one of the events that they get for existing. Oh god, they're on the same province. Oh, the attrition. I fucked up. Ooh. Sorry for the people who watch and are like, yes, I love that Dark has, you know, this very clean language. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, because I'm very profane. Alright, Andronicus Diazorinos. I believe that's, oh, that's our female... Apparently Andronikos is a female's name. Go figure. Has received great support for her efforts in developing astronomical instruments and measuring and fixing the positions of stars. Her observations included comprehensive study of the solar system and accurate positions of more than 777 fixed stars. So, we could gain 1 stability and 10% cheaper admin tech costs for 6 years. Or we could gain 50 prestige. Well, we're already at 98 prestige, so that doesn't really help us. So we're going to go ahead and pick up 1 stability for free. Well, not really for free. We're paying 6 ducats a month for it. But hey, cheaper tech costs, free stability, all good things. So anyway, going back to the question of religious ideas. So currently we're at, now with the stability, we're at 9% missionary strength base. And as you can see, we're already converting provinces in like a year. And once we take back Rome and you know, I think it's Alexandria, and there's other provinces as well to restore the Pentarchy, if I'm not mistaken. Is that decision even here yet? I don't think it is. I don't see it anyway. Wow, we're actually on the way to getting Triumph for Italy, which is pretty cool. We apparently don't have Triumph. Whoa! Holy moly! It's the Ottomans! They're back! Our most hated enemy. Hold on. This cannot stand. I will not allow this to happen. So help me. We're sending in the troops. Well, more importantly, we're sending in half the troops. But it'll get the job done. Alright, they have the mission to conquer the last Crusader bastion. Which gives them a claim on... what exactly? I don't know. Alright, so what are all the provinces in the Anatolia region? Let's see, let's go to geographical map modes here. Let's go to regions. Looks like the Mamluks actually own a couple of them, and looks like Armenia is back as well. Well, looks like a couple of bushfire wars to keep us busy. Alright, let's go ahead and split up these troops as well. Stop them from taking attrition. Well, it's been good so far. Taking back a good chunk of Rome. The Spanish are being humiliated by rebels. Let's see. We could lose 100 Diplo power or 1 stability. We'll lose 100 Diplo power because, you know, it's Diplo power. I mean, like, obviously I could increase my Diplo tech, but, you know. Let's increase next our siege ability, because siege ability is great, and we're not particularly close to embracing the next institution, so we're just going to go with that. And we could be making a ton more money if I wasn't greedy and didn't want to get the events from these level 3 advisors, and more importantly, the points. Making, you know, 12 admin points a month and 11 military points a month is just too good. Alright, let's go kill these rebels. We'll take a little attrition here. Mostly waiting for our manpower to come back, of course. Alright, have we even... we haven't even cored most of our provinces yet. Alright, dealt with the rebels. Good stuff. Alright, France is no longer guaranteeing the papal state. This is extremely important. I don't know what... Oh, because we took Naples and got them away, they no longer... Oh, that's so good. That is so good. So this is really bizarre. So, rather than separatists of any kind, the Neapolitan rebels are particularists for some really strange reason. Alright, we don't have a claim on either the Ottomans or on Dulkadir. Dulkadir, of course, still allied to the defunct Timurids, but... Alright, we're going to fabricate a claim on the Ottomans, because, yes. And Dulkadir as well. You know what? Why not? Let's reclaim this land really quick. And you know what? Let's go to Armenia while we're at it. Let's just annex all the things. But yes, going back again, you know, once again, to the point of, I don't think we need religious ideas. Deus Vult is very, very nice, given that we're Orthodox. But, if you think about it, before too long here, we're going to have imperialism anyway. I mean, well, I say that, but that's going to be at, like, Tech 23. I don't know. Like, to me, fabricating a claim is not that much slower. I mean, obviously, it takes, like, a year, depending on who you're, you know, fabricating against, but I mean, at the same time, like, I don't know, I love religious ideas, but in this case, I would really like the bonuses and the benefits from humanist ideas to stop rebels from all these different cultures that we have. Unfortunately, it looks like we have some Armenian rebels, so we're going to go deal with those real quick. But you know what might be great instead? Economic ideas. Forget religion. Let's just go economic. Make tons of money from our already rich provinces and just have a good time. Alright, now we're going to get a... the rebels here are going to take a -2, so it doesn't really matter what our army size is. Even though they got rid of the combat width penalty for attacking into, you know, bad things, or bad terrain, I should say. Which is certainly very interesting. Now, why we're fabricating faster on the Ottomans than compared to everyone else, I have no idea. But it's interesting to think about. Let's see. Looks like Bosnia currently has no friends. Our truce will be up with them in 6 years, and during which time we could probably definitely attack them. We do have the Byzantine particularists that have risen up. Now, do we have any better leaders than this guy here? We do have one that's slightly better in every way. We'll go ahead and assign him. He is Anastasios Gabras. Fair enough. So one thing I like to do, this may be like a trick to some people. So like I like to reinforce. I move a like somebody here, and then to make sure that they get out of the province afterward to stop taking attrition, I just shift right click into the province they came from. But it looks like we're smashing these particulars pretty handily. Yeah, only took like 4,000 casualties there. Not a particularly big deal when we're this big of an empire. Speaking of which, we're currently at a 1097 development, and that's before even like attacking the Mamluks and taking some of their land, which we absolutely will once we get enough manpower. You know, part of this, is I haven't done a proper live stream, and part of the fun of doing this hour special is, coming, like, saying, like, okay, do I have what it takes to stream, right? Though, obviously, if I were, live streaming, I would, be able to do things like, interact with the chat, which makes it, a lot easier than just talking to myself the entire time. Can you imagine what, like listening to someone, like, doing YouTube commentary would sound like if you didn't actually know what they were doing? Because the person would just be, like, sitting there talking to themselves the whole time, and, like, what is this person doing? Alright, well, we're going to go ahead and, if at first you don't remove again, I suppose. Oh no, we took a -3, but we still destroyed them because they had 3,000 troops. Kind of ironic, Ottomans being the size of Albania. Oh, this fleet needs to, like, go dock up and repair and live. Okay. We're gonna take the trade ships. We're gonna have them. I think we're gonna have them protect trade. Let's see where would be a good place. Looks like Aleppo would give us 0.63. But apparently transferring from. Wait, what the hey? Apparently we could add trade power to Venice, which would increase our trade value and result in a total change of 5.11 in profit. But that's got to be in the Venetian node. So the question we'd have to ask ourselves is, do we want to trade in Venice badly enough that we want to send our fleet there? And I don't know if the answer to that is yes. Because the value doesn't really help us as much as moving our fleet somewhere else. So let's go ahead and move them to, like, Alexandria, for example. Yeah, Alexandria seems to be a good place to move our fleet for the time being. I don't know what Britain is doing here in Byzantium, but it looks like they're fully occupied by pretender rebels. So maybe this is a late War of the Roses. I do see a Lancaster on the throne, but I'm not 100%. I'm not sure what 3,000 British troops are doing down here, but there they go, I suppose. I should be more concerned with, like, teching up. I probably should. Oh, that was the English Civil War, which ended, and now Oliver Cromwell is in charge. And they're now an absolute monarchy. Fun. When he dies, I believe there's a decision to change the country to one way or the other. Alright, for 617 points, we could pick up Admin Tech 18. I think we're going to do that because this is while we have the 6% from our awesome person. Scientific evolution. I love it. Alright, now comes the tough decision that we have to make. Okay, so I'm going to make a long case for humanist over religious, and then probably end up picking economic. So let's do that. Alright, so first of all, like I said, we already have 9% missionary strength. We're already going to get free missionaries from some of the land we take, just because of, the whole pentarchy thing. And on top of that, it's too much of a good thing, if that makes sense. Like, it's kind of like stacking morale. Like, after a certain point, like, it stops being as awesome. Tolerance of the True Faith is nice, because it would bring us up to, like, +8 or something like that, which is pretty good. Dave's Volt, of course, very good, considering that we're Orthodox. It would give us basically miniature imperialism until we actually get imperialism. Yearly prestige, yeah. And culture, missionary strength versus heretics, I mean, meh. We're going to go from like 12 months to like 8 months. And then, of course, there's reduced culture conversion costs, but culture conversion is so expensive anyway that, like, I really don't see the point. Versus, you know, religious unity. So let's go to religious unity issues for a second. So, currently, if we look at our unrest thing here, currently getting 0.63 unrest from religious unity. We're also getting increased stability costs by 20%, which is nasty, and yearly corruption. If we had humanist ideas right now, we would be at like 105% here, taking no penalties for having all these different religions, which is a good start, because that would mean that all these provinces that don't have our religion would suddenly, hate us less, basically. On top of that, we do get also, the tolerance, and don't even bring into the question, like, the whole, like, I'm not a tolerant person, so you shouldn't be, like, okay, if you're not a tolerant person, fine, but, like, let's talk game mechanics. So, if we get +3 tolerance of heretics, that brings us up to, for any province that is not our religion, up to, let's see. Admittedly, it would be 0.5 right now because we have the Conventicle Act, because we're converting provinces very quickly. But, that being said, like, with that 3, that means that people aren't taking a penalty for having, like, the wrong religion. Which is nice, because then we could do things like, stop having to raise autonomy and stop having to deal with rebels all the time. Which is pretty great. Years of separatism down. Lowers unrest massively. One of my favorite ideas of this whole group. Max promoted cultures +2. Very good for the amount of cultures that we have in our empire. Much better than having to actually, culture convert all of them manually. Because unlike Muscovy, we don't actually get a bonus to doing that. So it's very painful in terms of diplo cost to actually do that. And, like, it takes, like, freaking 1 year per 10 development. So, like, it's like 10 years per development. So, like, it's a long time, is what I'm trying to get at. Improved relations, meh. But national unrest -2 is also awesome. So I feel like, for us, humanist ideas would be really great. But, and this is what I was saying, if we took economic ideas, we'd get more money. Better production efficiency, better tax modifier, reduced development cost, land maintenance down, very important for armies as big as ours. So I think we're going to take economic ideas, even though I just deliberated over why having humanists would be pretty awesome. Not even including the 10% idea cost reduction, but we're going to go with economic. Hey, but I delivered on what I said for once. Let's get spy network construction up, I guess. Doesn't really help that much, but I just thought about this. Do we even have a Casus Belli on the Mamluks right now? We do not. That's really silly. All right, let's go. Well, Ottomans, welcome back. We don't even have enough admin to core them at the moment. We're on a rampage. Unstoppable Byzantium. Jonas Hunyadi, just making a name for himself, taking back a large chunk of Italy, and soon going to be taking back a large chunk of, our... I don't even know, the Levant, I suppose, would be the Latin term for it. It's kind of one of those things, it's like, what do we call this area? It's like, I don't know, I didn't expect to make it this far as Byzantium. Alright, we've converted the heretics of Nakhchivan to the one true faith. Guys, I get the argument for religious ideas. But I'm making the argument that I don't think it's as good in this situation as you might think, even though we would be able to Deus Vult to our heart's content. Alright, we now got a claim on Dulkadir, which means that it's time to turn them into pizza. Dulkadir pizza. Oh, look! Their ally wouldn't even join them. Well, Dulkadir. Sorry! Oh, dear. It's not even like... It's like, no, please, Mamluks, let me flee. No. Goodbye. Oh, look, 12 war score. Where did that come from? Oh wait, must be the dead army. Do we spend Diplo power to like get this early? I mean, it's not like we're spending it on anything else. We could get a 4-3-5 with a weak claim. That's pretty good. It's like a 12-point person. That's really good. So Azakios, unfortunately, has died from a strange fever. As the court sheds its clothes for blacker garments, it strikes you what a frail and transient thing life can be. Just as your thoughts are about to turn to the eternal, a young maid catches your eye. In the arms of the maid, I find solace. Alright. I'm sure our wife is pissed. Alright, this fort is surprisingly developed. Looks like a center of reformation is converting our provinces. Not surprising. Looks like one of our generals has died. Yeah, that's looking like it's what happened. Alright. This is so tedious. This is why you should just be able to assign generals in enemy territory. Like, oh look, I've got to move this singular guy out of the province. Oh wow, a bunch of our generals died at once. Let's go and roll a new one. 244, pretty good. People were asking me, like, how do you get such good generals? And honestly, what it is defensive ideas, getting that yearly army tradition, and offensive ideas. And then if you want to go a step further and get even crazier generals, get quality ideas for the extra yearly army tradition to get it like at a really high resting point. That's how you get the best generals. If all you care about is generals. Now I care about more things like, you know, troop costs and manpower, but it's just me. Some people like to just build nothing but mercs, which, like, cool, I guess, but I find it a bit unrealistic. Speaking of crazy things, though, we are about to get 20% bonus land force limit modifier. That is quite crazy. Austria, your faithful ally, is requesting that you come to their aid in the Austrian conquest of Venetia against Venice. Well, I guess we're going to have to kill Austria at some point because they're taking Venetia. Well, nothing lasts forever, I suppose. We really need to embrace this next institution, though. I guess it's a good thing we aren't paying up, you know, that much up front if you think about it. I will go ahead and pick up the next tech, though. The longer we wait, there's even more points that we have to pay. And let's go ahead and pick up the better force limit from offensive. And one thing I'm really excited about is getting this extra 5% discipline from finishing offensive ideas, because that will give our troops, you know, a total of 10% base discipline. Although the level 3 advisor is obviously helping. Total we'd be at 115%, which is just a lot of discipline. You know, reduces, effectively on average, reduces casualties by 5% per tick. It depends on the enemy's discipline. And on average increases damage dealt by 5%. The math equation is a little less, like, straightforward than that, but you get the idea. I guess we'll lose 100 admin to lose 2 inflation. What was our inflation before? It was like 6%. Alright, sure. Alright, let's go ahead and annex Dulkadir and take all their money. Oh no, the Mamluks are upset. Well, how does that phrase go? Lions do not care about the opinions of sheep? Something like that. Right, Erzincan is now considered to be a part of our holy patrimony. Let's see, who are we at war with? Is it just Venice? Wow, Venice is by himself. RIP. Alright, looks like we can convert another province. Slowly but surely, we'll get all these converted. We're still on our way. Really what we need is, like, just one more missionary, and we'd be, like, golden, basically. Alright, looks like we have some Georgian separatists to worry about. And, a couple of provinces they're in. Alright, we could lose 10 legitimacy or 35 admin. How old is Jonas now? He's 40. Let's lose the admin power, because losing legitimacy kind of sucks, even though he is like 40 years old. Which I know, I just like... obviously, like, we had a legitimate heir, and then we replaced him for a weak heir because he had a 435. There's still time. We could still swap this out for, Oh, Anastasios Gabras has fallen. Well, that's a shame. I guess we'll just roll a new general. See how good he is. He's a 5-4. Holy crap, that's good. We're gonna have him lead this army. He's freaking 3-star generals here. Crazy good generals. I love offensive, defensive. It's such a good combination that I just never use, I feel like. I usually go offensive quantity. Alright, so now our force limit is 136,000 if we decided to build up to it. Of course, right now we're going for more of a quality approach, just in terms of, you know, not spamming as many units as humanly possible. What is the Mamlukian army like, I wonder? See, the Mamluks currently have 45,000 with a force limit of 79,000, so... in other words, pretty easy fight overall, but the main problem is that we're kind of worrying about some of the, you know, other nations that would be involved here. Now, in another year... see, it doesn't look like any of our allies would actually join us against the Mamluks here. Which, really, to me, is a shame. So we'd be fighting against Armenia, Hejaz, which isn't really that scary, Morocco, who is, like, okay, and then Makuria, who is also pretty small. Overall, not really threatened by them. And any rebels that we have, honestly, our allies might just kill. So you know what? Let's go ahead and get the troops in position, and let's go ahead and get the troops ready to invade the Mamluks, basically. I don't think we have any claims on them yet, though. So we're going to go ahead and get working on that, because, obviously, if we attack with a casus belli, we'll be in a pile of shit. There I go again with all that clean language of mine. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the not friendly family. I feel like a PG-13 movie. Like I got to get away with as many swears as I'm like humanly able to. Like dropping the F-bomb like once per movie. It's like, all right, we got to get that in there somewhere. I wonder how many movie creators like make a movie and then they get to the point where they're like, all right, I've only sweared like twice. So if I just get rid of this one F-bomb, then the movie will be rated PG-13 instead of, you know, R. Looks like the Knights still exist. We should probably remove them from the map, but hey, we are nothing if not benevolent dictators. You know, we took Shirvan as a vassal, but he's just kind of existing over here. We'll have to connect him sooner or later. Perhaps in another war with Georgia, as it were. Yeah, that could happen pretty soon. I'm really excited because we're at the point where we can just start doing, like, really rapid-fire wars. Just, you know, bam, bam, bam. And yeah, just confirming that nobody wants to join our war. Well, you know what, guys? Fine. You don't have to fight my war with me. I understand. I get it. You're too cool for the biz. I see how it is. Alright, Georgian separatists threatening to rise up soon. We just have so many rebels. Goodness gracious. Alright, let's look at areas map mode really quickly here. Let's consider turning some of these areas into states. Get those core right away. Improve our, you know, all the check boxes of things that you want from a province. Just, you know, mark those off real quick. Pretty sure Central Italy is still a territory. Well, let's change that. Alright, how much admin do we need to get these cored? Looks like another 57 or so. Georgian separatists have risen up in Kartli. Alright, 31,000. let's see how crazy good this general is. We're not even going to reinforce with him. We're going to have him attack a numerically superior army with more cavalry, and he's just going to blow them up because he's a 5-4 against a 0-1. This is going to be insane. Although we are attacking across the mountains and the river. You know what? Just for added hilarity, let's let him go into the fort, and then we'll crush him. All his hopes and dreams. All right, we can fabricate a claim on the Mamluks here. You know, I'm looking at the decisions. Where is it? I feel like I'm missing the decision to, you know, reinstate the pentarchy or revive the pentarchy or whatever it's called. I wonder if it only pops up like with Rome. If it only pops up after you actually take Rome. It's an interesting question. Well, whatever. We'll just keep conquering because that's what we do. All right, let's take Halab because I believe that's the last actual geographic part of well, actually no, it's not. We'll want to take back the remainder of Anatolia in this war, I think, but given our administrative efficiency, I think we'll be able to take even more than that. All right. Let's let this I want to end on the note of us crushing this army of rebels, of Georgian separatists. Yes, go into the mountains. All right, this is going to be hilarious. All right, OP Byzantine memes coming up. All right, we rolled a 0, but we got a 5 total, and the rebels got even less. So even though we rolled a 0, we're still killing them 3-1. All right, good start. Our shock phase, another 0. Everybody rolled 0s. It's 0 day, everyone. And then on the next fire phase, oh, we rolled a 5. We got another 5. He's at a -1, killing him 10-1. All right, even though we're outnumbered. Look at those superior Byzantine tactics. Oh God, why? He rolled a 9, and we're still just obliterating him. Oh my goodness. That general, though. Georgios Melisinos. See, I'm thinking of Georgios Tsoukalos, the ancient aliens guy. That's who this guy is. He's just he does the meme every time. It's like Byzantines. Oh my God. All right, we stand on the precipice. We are ready for a war with the Mamluks. And I've had a blast. You know, I want to thank you guys so much for those of you who have made it this far, for being a part of the 1-hour special for Byzantium, where we have reclaimed a vast part of Italy from the Spanish. You know, I didn't even think about this. France is kind of upset with us, so we're going to go ahead and top off relations before we end this. But anyway, yes, it's been really fun. This is going to take forever to upload. Obviously, that's less important at the end of the episode, but I'm very excited, and I'm glad that all of you could have joined me today. I don't even know what to really say after something so epic as this, especially, you know, as we're perched, ready to strike the Mamluks with our 100,000 men and our, pool of manpower. But that being said, that is going to have to be the end of this episode, so thank you very much for joining me once again. Godspeed, you brave souls, and thank you for joining me, fellow Romans, and I'll see you on the next one.